Hi, this is Ennis from Never Stop Trucking. Today we have Nick from RTS Fuel and Factoring. He's going to talk to us about the benefits of factoring, about the things that factoring can help you with if you are a carrier, and then also the fuel discounts that they have. He's going to talk to us about them. Hey, Nick, thanks for being here.
Hey, and it's nice to finally talk with you. Yeah, it's great to finally, get out there and talk to everyone about getting you guys back working with RTS. Yeah, it's kind of like just a quick background on me, really quickly, before we get into, everything else about the fuel and factoring. Is I've been in the industry for a little bit. Came from a brokerage, was there for about 3.5 years. Um, been here with RTS in the fuel department for almost 4 years now. So pretty good industry knowledge when it comes to just the market and everything that's been happening over the past couple of years. Really well adept when it comes to that. But yeah, in terms of what we're working on over here, fuel cards, factoring services for carriers. Anyone who's wanting to save money, have a direct rep is what we're trying to do. So yeah, really happy to finally talk with you, and kind of circle.
Oh, we lost him. Well, I'm sure he'll join back in a minute here. He pressed something, so we'll just wait for him to come back here. But today we're going to be talking about how factoring can benefit carriers. We have been factoring as well here for a while, and it has its good and bad sides. But since most trucking companies will use factoring, that will mean that I guess the good sides will prevail, right? There is more good to it. Now we will talk to Nick about some of those things. You know why people hesitate to go with factoring, and I hope he will be join back. He will join us soon here. I don't see him yet, so we will talk to him about that. If you have any questions, you can ask them here in the chat, and we will be talking about it. Let me see if we have anyone. Taking the channel to the next level with these professional interviews, asking the right questions. Thank you. It's hard to because if you like when I'm by myself and when I want to do a live stream, then I would just go out and start, or I can give you guys some notice. Uh, I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna text Nick to see if he can come back. Um, come back when you can. I have no idea what happened. Did they lose power or what happened over there? He just disappeared. But if you have a guest here, I think he's coming back. Okay, I think he's trying to come back. I don't see his. Hey, Nick, are you there? Okay, well, I'm gonna let him work on his camera and his microphone. It's hard to. Mike is sending a little static, so maybe it's too close. Okay, I'll try to move it back a little bit like this. It's hard to get an appointment with people because they're busy, and then you have to make sure that both of you can make it, that something doesn't come up, because if you schedule ahead an interview like this a week or 2 weeks ahead, then a lot of things may come up. Like last week I was sick, I had to postpone 2 interviews, and today we are very busy here, but I wanted to honor this appointment, and we're going to try to keep it short as we can, because I will have to go back. Oh man, just looking at my email, waiting for Nick to see if he's gonna come back. Michi. I don't see him. Here we go. I think he's coming back. So yeah, it's hard to arrange all of this and make sure that everyone can be here.
NS, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're still live. I was just talking a little bit about factoring, but I understand something happened. We lost you, but now you're back.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it looked like everything cut out on me. I had to log back in and recreate my login here for the stream. So I apologize about that.
No
Yeah,
problem.
so you guys were going over, did you have any factoring questions or were you just going over everything in general?
No, we don't have any questions here in the channel, but um, the audience, they were just commenting how, like, I have been having some of these interviews lately with brokers, with different people from transportation industry, and they're saying that that they like it. So I was just explaining how that works. But yeah, we can continue with factoring. I wanted to ask you, can you talk to us about benefits of factoring? Because I know a lot of people will hesitate. I talk to a lot of people, and some of them will have, their issues with factoring, and I understand that there are some downsides, but I
Sure.
think there are more good sides because obviously most people will go with factoring. So I guess the there are more good sides than bad sides. That's what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And then to go back on it too, just on the comments really quickly, it is really good that you're talking directly with a lot of industry heads or just like people in different divisions and different markets, just so you guys can have more transparency to what's going on. So I appreciate that you're doing that as well. For the factoring side of things, yeah, I totally understand where people come from, where they might not want to factor. They're giving up a certain percentage of what they're making essentially, but really it just comes down to cash flow and the benefits of cash flow and having that for your business. I think that's the biggest point of it. We can get carriers paid same day over here versus sometimes a 30-day wait. I think that's super helpful when it comes to carriers cash flow. We'll get you paid right after you deliver a load with RTS versus waiting, for a quick pay. There's not as many fees with us. It's just, we work directly with a lot of carriers. We've been around for a while, so we have that industry kind of standard that, RTS is, the top, the top of the chain when it comes to fuel, factoring, these type of services. So it's really just about keeping everything in house and, making everything easier for the carriers, getting them paid faster. And I think that's really just the big benefit there. We can do, it doesn't go over a $10 ACH fee for same day pays as well, or it'll be a next day pay. So we're pretty good when it comes to working with carriers and, being transparent on fees, transparent on pricing. We're not charging you hidden fees or anything that you're seeing that we're not transparent about with you. So everything's up front. Everything with us is up front, and we keep everything, you know, we keep everything in house with the carriers, and we like having that personal relationship with them as well.
Okay. Well, I'm showing a question here of what is the factoring fee at RTS, and people would ask me that a lot, and I would tell them it depends. It's not just with RTS; it's with all factoring companies out there. It depends on their volume, on the number of the trucks, on your agent. From my experience, it also depends on who are you working with, and maybe even your negotiation skills. So, can you say what the factoring fees at RDS, or like, are you going to give a political answer like I just did?
It's probably going to be more of a political answer just because it is so wide verse on what we can do with people. When it comes to the factoring fee, I would say it's hard to just put a ball on it because it does go so heavily with volume, what company you're with, how long you've been with them, what rate you're needing, that type of thing. Obviously, we're a lot more, we can be super competitive when the volume's a lot higher. If you have 50 trucks or something like that, we're going to get you, the bottom penny to get that. But essentially, most people would be probably between 2 and 3% on their factoring contracts with RTS. Now that's not assuming, or that's not saying that, you can't be under 2 to 3%. I would just say on average, most people are probably in that range. Um, one truck starting out. Sometimes, if you're a box truck, hot shot, it can go up to like 4%, 3.5%, that type of range. But for the most part, most carriers are probably between that 2 to 3% range.
Right. Well, I'm assuming that's in the beginning. Like most people will start slow and small, and then you will have sometimes you will have carriers, established carriers who might switch. So that might be a different
Absolutely.
story.
Yes. And when they come over, so we have it all the time when carriers are already with another factoring company. Um, Sometimes it comes down to if you're in a contract, most of the time we can get you bought out. So, sometimes there's situations where we can't get you out of a contract, but if you are getting a competitive rate with someone else or another factoring company, let us know what we need to do. We'll just need like your aging report on the factoring side to show the proof of what you're doing, that rate that you're getting, and we'll beat it 100% for the most part. So we'll be pretty competitive. And we just want to see what you're getting if you are getting a better rate, and we'll do what we can do to win your business.
Right. Well, there are hundreds of factoring companies out there. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to say thousands, but for sure there are a lot of them. Some of them are well known, some of them are not. And you have to go through the agreement through the contract when you sign up with someone to make sure that you know what you're getting into. And also, our reputation um, has to do a lot with when it comes to deciding who to go with. I know RTS is probably the most reputable, or one of the top five at least, or
Mhm.
top three, and that should like if you're working with someone small, they can go down anytime, and then you have a problem. So I would rather work with someone that's established and that has a good reputation, and maybe pay a little bit more than these other ones.
Sure. And a lot of these smaller companies too that may pop up and seem like they're a lot better have a lot of back end hidden fees that they're not bringing up to the carrier as well. It's just a way for them to kind of win that business from the carrier, kind of like in a deceiving way, possibly, I guess. But with us, we're not going to run into that. We've been around for a long time. So like what you said, more than likely, we're top three when it comes to just name recognition, longevity, that type of thing. And I think that's the big thing with RTS is we're not just, we're just not a huge, we're not going to just put you as a number. You're not going to come in and just be our client. That's just, you're on board with RTS and that's it. If you call in, you're not getting kicked to some third party line or customer service thing. That's really the big benefit as RTS is how personable we keep the relationships, on top of that name recognition. So um, when you bring in clients and customers and you treat everybody the same and you kind of have that family relationship and mentality for who you're bringing into the transparency, that's what really helps grow our name, and wanting people to come on board with RTS, and wanting them to, they come on board with RTS and then they refer their friends to RTS and then those friends come to RTS. So it's really just once they see that personal relationship that they get from the RTS reps, and then they put that in with the longevity that we've been around. You can Google RTS factoring. Definitely one of the, a lot of good reviews, been around for a while. So we'll definitely take care of the customer, I think is the big difference.
Okay, thank you. Cattleman has great questions. What's the benefit of going with a factoring company versus taking quick pay from the broker?
Yeah, I think when you go with the factoring company, versus the quick pays, there's going to be a lot more fees on the quick pays on the back end. With us as well, you're getting a set rate each time. Most of the times we can get you a competitive rate to get into where we're saving you money versus those quick pays. And so essentially we can get you paid the same amount of time for less of a fee, if that makes sense. So we're saving you more money in the long run. I know the quick pays seem convenient sometimes, but we're definitely saving you more money versus, when you get into a contract with RTS for a year or so, or whatever, it may be a year, 2 years. We're definitely going into that with the saving you money mentality with our fee. So when it goes versus the quick pay, we're definitely saving you money versus just the convenience of the quick fee.
Well, a quick pay, not all brokers have quick pay, and then a lot of brokers will have different fees for, like, it depends like how quick they pay. And to me, I don't know. Most of those fees are higher than factoring fees anyway. So,
Usually,
well,
yes, and if not, there's probably some hidden fee that you're not seeing that might come out on like an invoice at the end of the month or something like that. That there's a lot of hidden fees when it comes down to that stuff. So I think the difference is just the transparency with us, and you're usually saving more money when you're getting the percentage rate with us versus a quick pay.
yeah. Well, when I first started this company, the first 2 year I didn't factor, and I would send the invoices directly to brokers, and there were no problems. It was a little bit more time consuming because you have to have every time you book a load with someone new, you have to find out where to send the invoice. Is it email? Is it upload? So with time you learn that, and I had really not, but now, like after 2 years I started factoring. Now it's just like you upload all the invoices to one portal. You don't have to worry about sending it to brokers. You don't have to worry about checking with brokers, when they're gonna pay. So it's kind of like having
Peace of
someone
mind.
work for you. What was that?
Oh, no, sorry. I was just saying it's more of a peace of mind when you have more of a direct contact. You have someone you can always go to. You can just text your RTS rep, or you can just directly reach out to someone versus trying to go through the back end, or trying to reach somebody to get a quick pay. So it's a lot more easy for the carrier to get in contact with us as well.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you ever thought about this, but here is something that you might use when talking to a potential customer. And this is, I'm being honest. I'm not, because I don't factor. I mean, like I'm not with a factoring company where I'm trying to sell a product. I'm just talking from my experience, but you can maybe use it in your pitch. I figured that you need at least twenty to $30,000 in cash for each truck if you're not factoring, right? Once that truck comes in, and that's how I started. I was able to go up to 5 trucks, right? Because I had the cash reserve, and I was able, and at all times, with time, at all times with those 5 trucks, the brokers, my outstanding invoices would be around $100,000, right? So that's great. Like they owe me that money. I have that money. I'm just waiting for them to pay for it. But once you run all out of all of that money, and you start adding more trucks, or maybe you have like 3 trucks that want to onboard right away, or buying 3 more trucks, it's hard. Like you're gonna have to have like fifty to $75,000 if you're not factoring for
Right.
those trucks. And you come to that point where you just, like, if you want to grow, I had no choice but to go with a factoring company, because I would be able to get the invoices paid right away.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot more easier for the cash flow side of things for your business, especially if you're just starting out too. It's a lot of high front end costs for that. So you could be hemorrhaging money, trying to start your business, and so many things you have to pay for, especially with like insurance prices these days too. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff you got to take into account when it comes to all the different ways that your money's going to go out. So factoring is a huge benefit for carriers to get that money right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you ask someone like who's your insurance, it's same with factoring. You just ask them who is your factoring company, because you just assume that they factor, because most carriers will do. I understand there are a lot of them who don't, and I really respect that. And I wish maybe down the road that we're gonna get to that point, because like savings is savings.
Right.
But if you have a good rate, if you once you grow, I spoke to a guy. He's from Grand Rapids here. He has over 100 trucks in his fleet, and I don't know who they're factoring with, but they have a zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.6 rate right now, right? So like you gotta really think, am I really gonna drop that because of the 0.5%, where I have this peace of mind? So for people like that, like maybe I'll just continue factoring, if you can get a better deal.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day as well. So
Okay. What is factoring a loan? The reason why I'm asking is that because I had an argument with someone the other day, and this guy, I guess he didn't know how factoring worked, and he was he started talking to me like about APR and how with overtime this will cost you a lot more than had you had a loan with a bank. And I told him, dude, there is no APR. The percentage that they say, like 2 or 3%, they take it from the load right away. If the load is $1,000 and the percentage is 3, you get charged $30. You get
Yes.
970, and that's it. Like, no, he's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You don't understand. Can you explain that to us a little bit further?
Yeah, of course. That's a huge misunderstanding too, and that happens a lot. A lot of carriers see that. We're not charging you the extra APR if you don't have we're not setting you up for like a credit card essentially. Like we're not. You're not going to be charged anything additional from what you're signing on or for what you're signing on for. If you sign on for 3%, like you just said, that's what we're pulling out of the load that you just booked. We're not charging any additional fees, any APR, any yearly fees, any additional things that come up that a lot of people kind of maybe gets a bad word in their mouth about factoring because they heard it does this or it does that. But essentially, we're not adding these extra fees. We're making it easier for you to access your money, and we're taking a very small percentage out of your load, and you're getting paid right away. Like you were just saying, pretty much like most carriers do it. I do, I understand too, like being the factoring free and having those extra savings, that's beneficial as well. But, when you're established and around for a long time, that, you get to that point. But factoring for 99% of companies is what you want to do just for getting that cash flow in. So I definitely feel like, I think it's just a misunderstanding when it comes to the fees that are associated with factoring or essentially what factoring is. It's really just a way for you to access your money. You're direct with RTS, like as a customer. So you're in a contract for a year with us. It's a way for you to access your money at a set fee. And then you can get paid, same day with us. So that's really all it is. It's a quicker way to access your money, help with your cash flow. And we're not charging you these extra fees that are being talked about.
Okay. Okay. Do you mind if we switch to fuel cards now?
Sure.
Okay, so you work, your main role is with fuel cards, right? As that's what I understand, right? Like with
Yes, sir.
RTS, but you do work with both, but your main position is with fuel cards.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yeah. The fuel department. Yeah. But the factoring department, we work hand in hand. So all of it's together. And then when you set up with RTS, like you guys sign up with RTS, you're working with me and you're working with one other factoring rep, and that's it. You're not being sent to a third party, or you're not being told to, email this person that you never talked to before or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's direct with us. So me for fuel, and then it'd be one other person in my office for factoring that sits right behind me. So everything's hand in hand. As soon as we get your information, we're reaching out and getting you set up.
Cool. So I just got these brand new. I'm gonna hide, some of these numbers here.
Sure. Yeah.
I got these brand new ones. They look better than the ones that we had. But I've had RTS fuel cards for almost 11 years now. And then back when I was driving as well, and a dispatcher, a different company, we used RTS fuel cards. In my opinion, because they're Fleet One cards. You guys work with Fleet One, but you get RTS discounts. Can you explain how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, just really quickly, the new redesign does look a lot better. I'm with you on that. They released those about 3 weeks ago or so. I think they definitely look a lot more sleek. But when it comes to the fuel side, it's another thing where we're just really hands-on. We're Pilot Flying J's direct partner. So we're for starters, when it comes to the major locations, we're going to be competitive with discounts and pricing. You just need to let me know if you're getting a better discount than what we're offering you on the front end. Show it to me and we'll beat it. We're Pilot Flying J's direct partner for the major locations, and then we have about 1,600 or so regional locations too on top of that. So in total, you got Pilot Flying J's, 19 locations, SC Fuels, and then you have the regional locations, which are a huge benefit as well, which would be Speedway, Circle K, Sunoco's, Mr. Fuels, Easy Fuels, those type of locations. So we have a lot of coverage throughout the U.S. I think that's a really big benefit of the fuel side too, is you're not really going to run into anywhere where you don't have any coverage with us. And then on top of that, you're also getting, the best discounts in the industry too. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, there are a lot of small mom and pop truck stops are also in the network. Like here in Grand Rapids, we only have one truck stop. It's a medium-sized truck stop, but they have been giving us the discounts through RTS as well. So that also helps.
Absolutely, yeah, and we're always expanding our regional network as well for those mom and pop stops. I would say every 2 weeks or so, we're getting an email with new locations added. And we just recently actually were told that we can be a little bit more competitive if we ever need to be on the regional location pricing. So discount wise, we're the the go-to shop. We're going to get you set up for fuel. We'll get anybody a credit line. We can be really competitive when it comes to that side of things as well. So we can really get someone a really good deal, really good credit lines in place, really good discounts in place. Just let us know what you need, and we'll get it done for you for the most part.
How well, let's go to this question. How big is the discount at Pilot and Flying J?
Yeah, so that's another thing too that can be volume based. Obviously, if you're getting another discount right now at a TA, Love's, one of those major locations, let us know how big your discount is, and we'll go back and make sure that we're competitive to beat it. So just off the front end, I just want to know, like general pricing with Pilot Flying J is probably between, throughout the US between 30 cents to 50, 55 cents off the cash price with us off the front. Now, if you're getting somewhere else, or if you're using another fuel card right now and you're seeing steeper discounts than that at a major location, all you got to do is let me know, show me 2 weeks of those, reports or the discounts that you're getting. Just show me what you're getting and we'll beat it. So we'll be competitive with the pricing.
Oh, I didn't know you guys would do that because I know there is like, I go to RTS Pro. I'm trying to pull it up right now to show it, but I think this is gonna be a little bit too complicated. But there's a RTS Pro app that you can have on your phone and on your computer, and you can see the prices live. And like you just put in your location, or you just drag the map, and then you can see all those, like even the Flying J and all Speedway, all of them, and you just see the discounts, and that's
Yeah, a
really
big
great.
feature with that as well, the RTS Pro app is a huge thing for our carriers. You can even put like a route feature, so your starting location and your destination, and it'll show you every RTS stop along the way, so you can ensure that you plan that out throughout your route. Make sure you're stopping and getting the best discount along your route. You also get free load board access with RTS as a fuel card or factoring customer with us. So that's on that RTS Pro as well. That would be like brokerage freight that you would have the ability to, bid on or accept a couple of days early as an RTS customer. So just a quick benefit there.
Yeah, and what's great, I can also create a username for any of my drivers, and they can log in with and a lot of them are using it. I encourage everyone to use it, and they do get a lot of discounts. Some of them, and that's really a good marketing tactic for us, that we when we look for new because we are all owner operators. So when we do marketing, we would always say, hey, we have these RTS fuel cards with Fleet One, and we have really good discounts, and they get 100% of those discounts. And then when I do the fuel, I can see they get 100, 200, $250 a week if they follow that app and know what they're doing. A lot of them will get over $200 each week. That's a lot of money.
Right. We're saving you guys 500, $600 a month just off the rip. And then it gets to a lot steeper than that if you have competitive pricing already, if we need to go steeper on the discount. So it's really beneficial, the fuel program and the discounts we can get for you guys. We also do, really quickly, just to add, we do have an option too, to where if you don't necessarily want the credit line in place, we have an option where you can just bring your own credit or debit card and load funds yourself. It's no credit check or anything, and just instant access to all of our locations and discounts. So just really quickly there.
Okay, well, here we go. Where is it? Can you see it? So this is for this year. So this is for January, and it shows here that we saved almost $2,000 just for 1 month in because the app will tell you.
Yes, sir. And that's the
So
big thing with us too, is using that network. When you use it competitively like that, like you're saying, you're really going to see those savings.
yeah, so this is Grand Rapids, like right here. So, and then you can just click on any one of them, and it will tell you like this one, like here, the our truck stop as 14 cents off. You know, so this I love the app. It's really cool. And then also what I like about this, I tried. What do I have here? I don't use any of them anymore. I tried TCS. I tried ComData. I tried what is this? Fuel Vana something.
Yeah.
But 99% I do with the fleet one with your card. They're like, I gotta give it to Freight Vana. They interface looks good on their website, but that's the only thing. But everyone else, the interface is really bad. It's very complicated. Fleet One, they work with EFS, and the interface is really functional. I can do everything I want there. I can do it on the app. I can block, make the card inactive, change the information on the card, do it on my phone, do it at home. And I love their interface. That it's really great. It's very simple for truckers.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's one of the main benefits with RTS Pro too, is how user friendly it is. We'll help you even get onboarded with that. Like me specifically, I'll help you get onboarded with that as our customer. So we help you walk through the setup on that and show you how to work all of those features. So it's a really, really convenient thing to have.
Okay. We have a question here about factoring. Is there any security deposit for factoring?
Sure. Yeah. So that's one where it's sometimes there can be a security deposit if you have a hot shot or a box truck to set up with us. I believe sometimes there could be a $500 or sometimes $1,000 security deposit on that side of things. But we can also be more competitive with like, or change that, I guess, like the security deposit into more of like your rate side of things. So there doesn't necessarily have to be a security deposit if you have a hot shot or box truck, but we can usually be competitive, just off of the rate that way with that. But if you have, just like your standard dry van, flatbed, sometimes even box trucks, equipment like that, we're not gonna, you're not gonna have that security deposit.
Okay. Is there a credit check for the owner of the company?
Credit check for the owner of the company on fuel?
No, no, on fuel and factoring.
There will be, yes, on the factoring piece. There will be. It doesn't necessarily. It has nothing really to do with your qualification for the factoring side of things. It's really just on the background check side of things when it comes to that side of things. With the fuel, we can, it really just depends. Um, we're not going to check your credit unless you want a Fleet One credit line for the regional locations, and we don't have to necessarily check your credit if you want that. We have a lot of ways to go around it. Sorry, is kind of what I'm trying to say is so. We have the Plus network. We can get you a credit line in place with that through WEX. The Plus network is those regional locations like the Speedways, Sunoco's, like that. We can get you a WEX credit line that would technically check your credit, like personal credit. Or we can do it without checking your personal credit. Like we can do it off of business EIN credit, or you have that option to just, do a security deposit or load the funds yourself via credit or debit card. So essentially on the fuel side, we have a lot of ways of getting over a personal credit check. You don't need
Okay.
that at all.
Okay.
And then on the factoring side, it's more for just background.
I was Nisha, you know her? She
Mhm.
set up the fuel cards for me, and I've been trying to get that unlimited line of credit for the fuel, but we ran into some issues, and I just gave up. So maybe you can look into that when you get time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what it is too is so we're Pilot Flying J's direct partner. So with the credit line of piece, we're usually can get people what they need. So for your account specifically, I can look into that, when we get off of this call right here, but
Yeah.
we can get you as much credit as you need with Pilot Flying J. And then on the WEX side of things, it's typically a credit line of about 3,400 a week per truck. But on the back end, the unlimited side of credit comes from the pilot side of things, and we can for sure get you the credit you need with them.
Okay. And then I didn't know. I wasn't. I'm just looking at some questions here. Okay. Uh, let's discounts at mom. I try to never go to pilot if I don't have to. What's the security from the crooks reading cards?
Okay, yeah, I see his questions. Do you want me to go with the first one first or this one?
Well, I think this was just a comment. Uh,
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
I
Yeah.
but then the
Yes,
next one,
discounts at mom and pops,
yeah.
100%. We'll get you those discounts. When it comes to the security, WEX actually has a huge security department when it comes to this. They changed how they kind of access their or kind of assess fraud um, about 6 months ago or so, to where we're seeing a lot more output from their side of things for fraud protection. We have card lock that we can set up for our carriers. We can do 6-digit driver IDs. We have a lot of different ways that primarily the card lock is how we go around the security side of things. Because we did run into a lot of issues where we were seeing, skim swipes and stuff like that at the pump where people would steal your information just randomly. And then, we would have a security issue where someone possibly took funds, that you didn't even know about. So we have that fixed now. When it comes to the security side of things, the card lock is going to stop that from happening. And then we also have you'll have complete control over who's in and out of your account and who has access to what card, what they're able to do at the pump. Even if you want your drivers to have limited access at the pump or what they can use with the card, we can set that up for you. So we take security really seriously over here because we know we don't want, obviously we don't want you running into these issues where someone's taking your line of credit or they're taking your card information and using that. So they put in some things a few months ago, to really fix this, and I really think it's definitely helped.
Okay. Well, every time I log into my WEX, EFS, Fleet One account, it's all the same. Um, they keep giving me those prompts to set it up, and I'm too lazy to do it. And to me, it's just too complicated, maybe, and maybe for the drivers, I just don't want to overwhelm them. But
Sure.
there is that extra layer of security that they do offer if you care about that. So yeah, that there is that. And then also when you go into the portal, and I can't really show it because there's a lot of personal information there. But
Mhm.
when you go into the portal, you can do anything you want with those cards. You can deactivate them, you can activate them, you can set up prompts at the fuel pump, whether the driver needs to have a driver ID, and you set up the driver ID. You give them that, so even if the driver loses it, there is no way that they can fuel without that driver ID. And there are other prompts that you can set up. And like you said, there are limits. You can do daily limits for fuel, for DEF fluid, even for lumpers. You can pay lumpers, buy accessories, additives. There are a lot of things. And all you do is you log into the portal and you can do it yourself as an admin. You don't have to call anyone. I don't remember. I call Fleet One or RTS or you guys, you order me additional fuel cards because
Yep.
it's much easier to do it with you. Only if I need new fuel cards. Yeah, I don't need to call them almost about anything else. And there is also another thing that I really like with them is when a driver goes to get fuel and there is some kind of problem, right? They will get back to me like, hey, something is wrong. And I try to find out what it is. I can see if the transaction was canceled or declined. But if there is something that I can see, the people at the fuel desk, they call the number in the back, and Fleet One answers right away. That's what I love about that, and they will help them, and they know all their systems, all those truck stops, and they will just tell them. They will teach them how to use it, and they can help. That's really a good thing.
For sure. And also just to add on that, like on top of how quickly everything can get fixed or how, easy you can get access to something that you need, you can also just text your RTS rep and we'll get it to you pretty instantly. So we make sure that the user friendliness and, how easy it is for you guys to work with us is a huge priority for us.
Okay. Well, I try to stay longer with these live streams, and today we are both very, very busy. And Nick and I, we made a decision to make it a little bit shorter today, but he promised he would come back another time so we could talk more. So
Yes, sir.
unfortunately, this is it for now, unless you have something else to add, whether it's factoring or fuel cards.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm really excited to get back on here with you and talk some more. But just really quickly, we can help out whoever, fuel cards, factoring wise. If you're needing better diesel discounts, let us know. If you're needing a better factoring rate, want to get paid faster, let us know. Reach out to us and we'll get you set up and you'll work directly with RTS. So, that's really just the point I want to get across is, we're ready to work with you and we're going to be competitive to win your business.
Okay, can I leave your email number in the description of this video?
Absolutely, yeah. People can go into your link, or they can click into, send me a text directly, or send me an email, and just let me know that they came from you, and we'll get them set up and everything. We'll get them fuel cards, factoring, whatever they're needing.
Okay, I don't want to put you on spot right now. Hopefully, you're not gonna hate me, but I know a while ago when I worked with Amel, sometimes they would have some kind of specials, like
Mhm.
something. So I'm assuming hopefully you're going to have some special soon, so when someone reaches out directly to you, maybe you can give them something better, a better deal. I'm not saying like right now, but down the road, if there is something going on at that time, that I hope you can do it for them.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're always bringing out promotions and things like that for our factoring and fuel business side of things too. So we'll always keep that in mind, and you'll always see things popping up. So we'll definitely do what we need to do to win over your business, fuel card, factoring wise, or both. Just let us know what we need to do, and we'll try to get it done for you for the most part.
There you go. Now you have to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Cool. Thanks for being here. This was fun. I wish we could do it a little bit longer, but we can, for sure plan another one of these. Thanks for doing this. This has been really great.
Yeah, thanks, Ennis. I appreciate getting the chance to talk, and we'll definitely be back.
Okay, thanks everyone for joining every time and asking really good questions and helping us out here and watching us talk. I really appreciate everyone that comes back to Never Stop Trucking channel. Thank you everyone and have a great day. See you later, Nick.
Thank you. See you.
Okay, bye.